It's one of the biggest sports events in the Commonwealth, and it's an event that many NASCAR drivers have circled on their calendars, the last race before the chase for the Cup. September 7th at the Richmond International Raceway, drivers will be jockeying for position, trying to secure that coveted spot in the chase. And joining us here on the Sportswrap, the track president, Dennis Bickmeier. Drivers are taking this race so seriously, they've actually been coming in on their off time testing at night. I mean, does that tell you how important it is?
It really is, and as you say, I mean, it just goes to show you how big this race is, especially for those guys that are trying to get into the chase, obviously on the bubble. And for us to allow them to test into the night to practice under conditions that they're going to qualify and race under has been really good for them. It's been great for us, great promotionally for us. We had a lot of fans out there.
And it's free.
Absolutely, yeah. It was great for the fans to just come out and hang out, and it really got them going, in anticipation for race weekend.
Now, the drivers love Richmond, the fans love Richmond. It shows up well on TV. Why aren't there more three-quarter-mile tracks than those sterile mile-and-a-half tracks they've been building in the past decade?
Don't tell anyone. We like being the only three-quarter mile that the Sprint Cup Series races on. But no, I think you're right. When they were building some of those mile-and-a-half tracks, Tony Stewart was like, we need to build more Richmonds. We're kind of glad that they didn't. We love the uniqueness of being the only three-quarter mile and doing all of our racing under the lights.
Now, the Richmond track has deep roots here in Hampton Roads. The late Paul Sawyer from Norfolk used to own the track, and he turned it from a half-mile track into the three-quarter-mile crown jewel that it is. I mean, he really was a true racing pioneer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you look at, we've been doing NASCAR racing for more than 60 years at RIR, and you look at the Sawyer family and what they did, and they were obviously a big part of the infancy of NASCAR and certainly through the growth, and we're carrying that tradition on today.
He actually tried to build a track in Isle of Wight County back in the 80s, when they were kind of wrangling going on with Richmond, but it stayed in the capital city.
Yeah.
Now, what percentage of fans from Hampton Roads do you estimate or make up your attendance at the races?
We obviously drive a lot of people. I would say we're probably somewhere around 20 to 25%.
Wow.
We do well, obviously, with the military bases over here. We have a very really good military ticket program.
As track president, what would you rather have, a race in the chase or the last race before the chase?
I absolutely love where we sit as the last race to make the chase. I've had some colleagues call and say, hey, how would you want to switch those dates? And no, I laugh at them, and I don't want to switch the date. I really like this. You can't talk about what's happening in the sport and about points without talking about Richmond International Raceway. I think it's a good spot to be in.
I personally would like to see a road course race in the chase. I think that would be cool.
You never know. I mean, there's a lot of discussion around that.
We were talking off camera earlier. I mean, it's a chance for the fans to see the new Gen 6 cars under the lights in Richmond, and those cars are hauling right now.
You can really tell, too. I mean, just looking at them, you can tell how much faster they are.
It's the last race before the chase, Saturday, September 7th, under the lights at the Richmond International Raceway. Dennis Bickmeier, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.